All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back for another week, and we really appreciate it. We're glad that you guys are listening. This is going to be a big one, everybody. They're all big to us, but I'm telling you, we just get more and more amazing guests, and we've got another one coming up here real soon. I want to build it up a little bit, but before I get started, I want to talk to my co-host. I want to talk to Brooke, Big Red, up in here. Brooke, how the heck are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you, Kane?
I'm feeling amazing today, man. I was gonna wear my Miami Vice shirt today again. You know, really get that super feel to it. But I found this corn shirt at Walmart, and I just thought, you know what, I haven't represented corn in years, so I had to wear it for the show today. So I'm feeling fantastic.
I love corn. And where's your mask? I love your mask. I mean, you need to have that every once in a while.
Are you suggesting that I wear a mask for every show? Finally.
No. I'm suggesting that, we need your alter ego sometimes.
I felt like such an idiot when I came on the one day when I and Randy were going to record. And there I was with my El Podcastico wrestling mask on with a kids championship belt over my shoulder like an idiot. I instantly fell flat fast. I was like, I'm not doing the show like this.
I loved it. I was going to get like some random mask, like the Smurfs or something. Like, hey guys, I'm here. Because we all, it is whatever. Hey, Randy.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing good, man. Randy, you're the man about town. What the heck have you been up to? How have things been going out there, beating the streets and promoting music and music love everywhere? How's it been going for you?
Man, I have had an absolutely wonderful last couple weeks. And usually sometimes after holidays, things, sometimes tone down. And of course, here in Lincoln, football season always affects business a little bit. But I tell you what, there were a lot of people out this last week kind of enjoying the music and the scene. And it gives me a lot of hope that there's just a lot of great people out there, and we're seeing a lot of great entertainment. Saw a couple bands this week and talked to some great friends that were down at Rock the Docks for Taco Cat. That was a blast. Just everybody this week has just been out in force, just having a good time, and I've really enjoyed it.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope you guys are as excited as I am about our guest. We have a guy who I would argue is in the most epic, and I want to stress this, the most epic cover band in all of the land here. All right. These guys, everybody knows them. These are the guys that I was shooting to try to be when I was hitting the cover band scene. And I'm probably going to make this guy either bashful or disgusted by all the praise. But let's get our guests on right now. We have Cole Moore from AM/FM, everybody. Cole, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great this morning, Kane. Thanks for that. But I really appreciate it. I want to be humble. I'm
yeah.
Just a band. We just have fun doing it, what we do.
Man, it's amazing sitting here and looking at your backdrop right now. I'm salivating, and no, it's not because I have a fresh meatloaf in front of me, although I would dig that too. But I'm looking at all these killer guitars, man. How the heck did you get all these guitars? Did you just collect them over the years? You've been a guitar player for a long time, though, haven't you?
Yeah, since I was 12. So this collection has started since then.
Yeah.
I've let a lot go early days, but thankfully I'm still married. But my wife is tolerable of how many I get, and I'm done for a while. I'm up to 35, and that's enough for now.
I literally thought you were going to say, yeah, I work at a music shop. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, I want that one. And then how much is that one? There's so many.
Yeah, my buddies at Dietz kind of refer to this as Dietz Ultra South.
I was just going to say that. Do you hang out with all the employees and stuff too? That's how you get your discounts, probably.
Well, they treat me well. I mean, Dietz they're the best.
Yes, they are.
There's nothing like going into that amp room at Dietz, yeah, or any guitar store, for example, and just kicking on those amps, especially for a guy like me, who some of them I know I can't afford, and I'll get the most expensive guitar I can hold. I just, do you ever do that? Do you ever just go to the music store and just kind of go back in the room and just play anything and everything that you can get a hold of?
I do. Actually, it started when I was younger. Deets Downtown was like epic to me. That was, growing up back then, we didn't have the internet and basically had 3 channels on TV. So on Saturdays, when Mom would come in to get groceries and do her errands and stuff, she would drop me off at Deets Downtown. And going through those 3 stories of that store was like, that was Disney World to me. I would spend hours and hours there, and thankfully, Doug Fenton wouldn't kick me out. He'd let me play something, and that was really the start of it for me. Just walking up those creaky stairs, walking through the pro shop, watching them work on guitars, and then seeing everything they had. It was fun. I kind of feel sad for kids nowadays that they don't have that. Not that there's anything wrong with Deets now, but just the adventure of going to Deets Downtown was amazing.
I remember the first time I went into one as well, and I didn't realize they had that room in the back and you could play, and so I went with one of my musician friends, and I was just kind of learning the guitar. I still don't know it very well, but I remember he hooked it all up, and he loved playing this one. He goes, "Here, try it out." So I'm doing like a G, D, and then I can do Happy Birthday. So I was doing Happy Birthday on the guitar. It was really loud. And he's just like, not in front of me, but I could feel him just going, "Oh my gosh." And this guy comes in that works there, and he goes, are you guys, you good? You need anything? Are you guys good? Are you good? And I'm like, "I'm great." And finally he's like, "Oh, okay." And he just shuts the door, and I could tell he would be like, "Could you turn it down, or could you stop, or could you maybe just buy it?" I was awful and annoying, but it was fun. I love that place.
He was probably glad you didn't play Stairway to Heaven or some of those banned songs that you're not supposed to play. Even though, I mean, honestly, if I hear a guitar playing and I hear someone playing Stairway to Heaven, I'm going to go sit on their lap if they can fit me in the guitar in that area.
I'd sit on your lap.
How awkward would that be? I'm not a small man. Like, if you were sitting over there, Cole, and you're playing something, this intricate part, and this, chubby adult comes up and just sits on your lap like you're Santa Claus, that would be insane, dude.
I'm sure there's been people doing things like that. They're like, "Hey, will you sign my whatever? Or can you?" And you're all sweaty, and you're like, "Yeah, come here." Come sit on my lap. Don't dress up like Santa.
So, Cole, let's dive into it a little bit for you. Let's dive into music. Why music for you? What has music meant for you throughout your life? What does music do? And just tell us, like your love for the art form. Why do you do it?
Gosh, that's a good question. Honestly, it started with my parents, really, just having music in the house. And I remember my mom would have all these like 45s around the house, and I would like pretend to be a DJ and like just play them and just absorbing that music. And then she forced me to take piano lessons because she wanted me to have some sort of, music education. And I did that for a while, and I don't want to say it was boring, but I was losing interest in it. And I remember about the time Jump came out by Van Halen, and that song crossed both, piano and guitar because the solo is incredible. Once I heard the solo, I'm like, okay, the key part riff is good, but I want to learn guitar and learn that solo. So she let me take guitar lessons, and I had David Bowie, who is like the guitar teacher in Nebraska. I mean, I know so many of my friends that he's taught, and I mean, he's a legend. And yeah, that was the start of it. It was these group lessons at Schmidt's Music in the Gateway Mall. And I found my calling. Like that was the one thing that I just loved to do, and just kept with it.
Well, we talk about that a lot on the show, about really how music just really brings everybody together. And of course, I am in that age range where I absolutely love what you guys do.
Thank you.
You guys, I don't know if a lot of people know, but I think you guys were Lincoln Band Choice of the Year like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, we've
And
had a few awards. Yeah, Lincoln's Choice and Best of Lincoln, which,
yeah,
I mean, I'm so thankful for everybody for voting and for doing that. It means a lot. I mean, that's not what we achieve to do. We just try to do the best we can to give people a good time. And we do like to play the songs like they're recorded, which is an extreme challenge. I like that challenge to get the sounds right, get to use the right guitar for the right song. And that's what we like to do.
You guys play everywhere and you have a crowd. Let me tell you, like last time I was there, it was just packed and people, they literally come to see you, not like, oh, I wonder what this band's like. Like you have a huge following. And, but like, is there a place that you love to play at? I mean, not to like knock anybody else, but
There's a ton of them. I mean, the Rococo, I mean, that place is amazing. It's just gorgeous in there. And we did New Year's Eve last year there. And I had a lot of fun at the old Vega. I mean, that was, we were there a lot. But like, yeah, Gate 25, the Rail Yard, Rosie's and Cappy's. I mean, they're all fun. But the one I take back the most was we played Frog Fest, I don't know how many years ago, and got to open for Jake Owen. And oh my gosh, she was so nice. By the time of the day we played, there was probably, I don't know, 4,000 people. And I think at the end of the night, there ended up being 7,000. But when you play in front of that many people, it's just so nerve-wracking. And that feeling that you get, the anxiety and the excitement. And but like I was telling Kane earlier, that was the show where my amp went down. So the roadies, bring your stuff out and you set up really quickly so then you can get off and then the main show comes. And somehow one of the switches on my amp got pressed and the amp didn't work. So I was frantically trying to figure out what was wrong or how I could fix it while 4,000 people are looking at you and waiting and wondering what the heck is going on. They pulled it together. It ended up working. And talking to Jake afterwards, he said, hey, nobody really even knew. And
that's the thing, like us out in the audience, like if you guys are just messing around and doing stuff, we have no idea. But since like a couple of bands I've got to watch them practice, so I kind of know like their little giggle at each other, look at each other, and you're like, oh, yeah, they just messed up, but you don't know that, just watching, as a just in the audience. And like the bucket stories we always have, like, oh yeah, I had a bucket back there puking it, or whatever. Show must go on. And I don't know how many times I've had to run to Walgreens and grab batteries or, some duct tape or something, they're like, this isn't working, or, run to some shop and grab something. But it does, you guys a lot of times people just think, oh yeah, they're just setting up. You do a good job at that. But at least you weren't on there screaming and yelling and crying. Oh God, no. But yeah, no, the Vega, I remember I used to go up there and help Eli every once in a while. And one time the light guy and the sound, he was saying he had to go to the bathroom. He was like, hey, and I did it for Ghetto Blasters once. And I'm pretty sure it was you guys that I had to go up there and I was messing because I was like, I really don't know what I'm doing. And I just remember saying, don't touch that button. Well, with Ghetto Blasters, I accidentally touched that button and all the lights went out. So I knew, but it was perfect timing. And then it just came back on. I was like, I meant to do that. And so when you guys, I'm almost positive it was you guys. And I was like, don't touch that button. So you might have some crazy lights. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, there's some really cool places around Lincoln. There's a couple new ones coming up too. But
yeah, tanks yet, but that's what a cool thing they're doing down the rail yard. And that'll be exciting.
Why don't you tell us what you guys got going on right now? What are we looking forward to here in the future?
Well, November 23rd, we're doing Do the Dock, Embassy Suites outside. Hopefully the weather is going to be warm enough we can play. That's a scary, dangerous one. And then the big one is we are going to play at the Plainmore Ballroom New Year's Eve. Tickets go on sale Monday, November 18th at noon. Doors at 7, shows at 8. It'll be $25 a person, includes reserved seating, champagne toast at midnight, party favors and snacks, and you can get your tickets at the Playmore. And I can give you their number. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And how that happened is we've done several wedding receptions there in the past, and my brother just got married a few weeks ago, and we just started talking to them, and just everything seemed like there'd be a good fit and something different for people to do. And I think we're thinking about having like a back to prom theme, so you could, dress up in prom attire and relive your prom years from the 80s.
Man, that's an exciting lineup. I mean, what you guys are throwing, like an Enchantment at the Sea or what? One of those type deals. I thought I was too cool to go to all those dances, and now I kind of like regret it. Like, I even had girlfriends who I didn't go to prom with, and then but they ended up going with other guys. So obviously it didn't work out. So I probably should have went, but now I can relive that. I could take my wife to the prom and see you guys play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember going to prom when I was a kid, and just I didn't want to dance. I wanted to be the entertainment.
Yeah,
and come to fruition.
Well, it all kind of reaches its peak and comes full circle, doesn't it? And you guys have played some amazing shows. But tell me, you're talking about playing outside. I don't think people understand as a musician, especially when it starts to get chilly out or hot, what hell that plays on your instruments. Have you ever played gigs that were cold where it was just like your hands were getting numb the whole time and your instruments are acting all weird?
I think the worst was, so I was in a band years ago with Rich Bretta and Jeff Chartier and Todd Spidell, Bondo Jovi. And we did a car show in April, and that was, your hands don't work. When it gets that cold, you can't move much. It's a struggle.
And you can't wear gloves. You know what? Someone needs to invent guitar gloves.
Oh, that's a good mention. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a capo on it if you want, or like a, I don't know. Somebody think about that.
Brooke, you better patent that right now. I think we just told like 5,000 people a new money-making idea to get rich, and you need to save that kind of stuff for yourself.
I just take like a napkin and be like, look what I created. Like, I don't know. I'll have to find a scientist. Or whoever would create it.
Well, Cole, I got to admit, seeing you guys and the music you play, I'm like a kid in the candy store. I mean, that's my time period. That's how I grew up and the music that I love. And this doesn't surprise anybody that's listening to the show when we start talking about 80s music.
Well, so it started, one of my favorite bands of all time was Deviate. I don't know if you ever got to see them.
Yep.
I played at Mary's place a lot. And oh my gosh, what those guys created was just incredible. And at their very last show, I was there and I introduced myself to Steve Novak, who's the singer, and I love what you're doing. I want to take your set list and I want to kind of keep going with this. We started Bondo Jovi kind of doing that stuff. And, things changed and got different, and that kind of blossomed into AM/FM, what we're doing now. So, and at the time we were kind of looking for a singer, and so I reached out to Steve Novak to see if he would be interested in coming over, and he did, and we had a great run with him. A good friend, and then he wanted to do something different, and he went a different route, and that's when we acquired Jaden Olson, our singer now, who is Brian Olson's daughter. And that's even propelled us to even more song choices, what we can do now. Now we can do Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, and, just have the males sung songs by John, our drummer, and her doing the female stuff. It's fun. It's a good fit, and we're just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I love that crossover. And of course, I've only had a couple opportunities to hear her sing, but both times I was totally impressed and blown away.
Well, so true story. when we lost Steve, I reached out to Brian to see if he would be interested in fronting AM/FM. And at that time, he had a lot of stuff going on. And he said, I'd love to, but I can't. But Jaden would like to throw her name in the hat. And I've known Jaden since she was a young girl, so it's kind of like, well, yeah, have her come over and we'll see what happens. And she had never been in a band before. She did some theater stuff at Lincoln Christian, never been in a band. And Randy, she just took off like from the gate. Just her great tone of her voice and her personality shows through. And she definitely has the it factor, So we told her basically, if you're okay with having 4 band dads, join the crew. Like,
Awesome.
No, but I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Yes. And she is when you guys play together, we always talk about this. You can tell when the band meshes and there's something about the energy. She's a great lead woman, like this,
Yeah.
like she is very, very fun to watch. And her voice is just breathtaking. And you guys all together, because all of you musicians in AM/FM are incredible. And she's very lucky as well to have you guys and have more dads. Who wants more dads? I do.
We're into the show, like, hey, can I walk you to your car? Or, text me when you get home, the dad kind of thing to do. So
you guys are her bandmates, so you haul everything. Yeah, good. It should be.
This would make a great sitcom, man. That my 4 dads, and they're all in a band, and like this is basically, it comes on right after Full House, right?
You just gotta pitch that idea to somebody, Kane. We got this.
That's a great idea.
We got several, I'll say, boyfriends that she's had, but make sure they're on the up and up, and she's respected. So
I'm sure Brian is very grateful.
Yes. Yes.
I would be too.
Plus, she got a little stint on The Voice with Brian there during the audition.
She did. And yeah, Brian told me how incredible that was, because it was spur of the moment. She just and told her to go.
It was amazing. I was totally blown away.
Yeah, we were incredibly proud of her.
Just the fact that you could get up and do that. Just like, come here, here's my daughter. I'd be like, Dad? Oh my gosh. Like, she has, like, that in itself is hard. Like, I'd been at fundraisers or doing things and I have to go up and speak, and I didn't realize I had to. And I could, you get all flustered, and she just, okay, I'm going to go sing this beautiful song. And it was amazing. Judges were just like, what the heck? Like, they were like, come on over. You guys can be the judges, because they were so good. And do they sing together? I've seen them sing together, but do they perform a lot together, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's was gone for a while, and we had Brian do some shows with us, which was incredible and fun. But yeah, and then they've done some shows together, and they definitely have a chemistry. Obviously, but yeah, it's been a fun ride just being a part of this. When The Voice sends you an email so that they can use your image and likeness, I had my 2 seconds on The Voice. If you watch Brian's episode, we did a couple watch parties for Brian, and they used some of that footage on The Voice. So I had 2 seconds of myself on the show. So, but just seeing that email was just kind of fun. Like, this band gets to do a lot of fun stuff. I'm so appreciative of everybody and what we've done and continue to do. It's not over.
I think you're being very nice, but I think you guys are probably way more talented than you say you are, because you're so humble. You guys freaking rock it, man. You guys, everybody listening, go watch AM/FM though, for sure. And all of the bandmates are pretty cool cats, and we can't wait until you get to do it again.
All right, we've reached the best part of the show, the part where I talk about local sponsors. We run those commercials for our sponsors, and we just enjoy all these products and give thanks to the people that believed in us and help us to keep this show going. So stick around, listen to those ads, don't fast forward, and when we get back, we'll have the local roundup, and then we will return with our interview with AM/FM's Cole Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to rumble with the Ultimate Beard Care Showdown. Introducing our headliner, the one, the only, Squatch.
Oh yeah, Mean Jim. Squatch in the house, and I'm here to tell you about beard products that'll make your whiskers the talk of the town. If your beard's ready to take on the world, you need the power of our beard balms, butters, and oils, brother.
That's right, Squatch. Let's kick things off with the Beard Balm of Legends.
This beard balm is like a body slam for your beard. It tackles those wild hairs and smooths them out, making your beard look like $1,000,000. No sweat, brother.
What's the scoop with the beard butter?
Oh, brother, it's a game changer. This butter makes your beard softer than a cloud and as easy to manage as a well-oiled wrestling machine. Plus, it's got a scent that's as sweet as victory. Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget the beard oil.
The beard oil is the final knockout punch. It hydrates, shines, and smells like a championship belt made of cedar and pine. Your beard will be the 1, 2, 3 of any match.
Where can our fans score these unbeatable products?
You read my mind, brother. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com and grab your beard gear. And listen up. Use the code SUPERSHOW and get a jaw-dropping 20% off. That's right, 20% off. Your beard's about to go from zero to hero, brother.
That's elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com and use your code SUPERSHOW for 20%. Don't wait, make your beard the ultimate champ today. Ahoy, mateys! Christopher Columbus here. You know me. I discovered America, or at least that's what the history books have been saying for years. Anyways, I have a little confession to make. My compass quit halfway through the trip, and I got lost at sea on the way there.
Ahoy, Captain. What direction should we point the boat?
Shut up, you fool. I'm in the middle of a commercial here. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yes. When we arrived on land there, the natives were all decked out in their cool Viking gear. They said these big, smelly, bearded guys came, hung out, then split with all their cool stuff.
Aye, it was a weird day.
That could have been our cool stuff. We could have claimed all this great treasure and all this pirate's plunder.
But, sir, how will we steer the boat if we don't have a compass?
Well, this next trip is going to be different. I'm heading to Slying Tattoo to get a compass on my hand. After that, everything is coming up Christopher Columbus.
Ahoy, sir. That new ink looks great on you. After I swapped the poop deck and greased the hootenannies, I think we're going to be back to speed and... Oh, no.
What is it now, you buffoon?
It appears as if America's shores are just on the horizon.
What? How could this be? I've been pointing my arm in the same direction for days. Well, looks like this tattoo compass is broken too. Guess I'll have to head back to Sly Ink for that dolphin lower back tattoo I've been wanting to get. Well, looks like our native friends are waving us in, but oh, wait, they don't look very happy. Well, until next time, friends, if there is one. Oh, man, I am so pumped about this weekend. There's so much going on. We got the local roundup. Let's get into it right now. So first off at the Keg, they've got a killer 90s alternative band. They're playing Nirvana. They're playing Weezer. They're playing Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, for me, it doesn't get any better than that. They have the band Anonymous Crow, and they're going to be there Friday night, 8 p.m. It's a $5 cover. That is almost nothing. You can scrape your pennies together if you have to, whatever you got to do to get in there, but go see them. It's an 18 and over show. It's going to be a blast. So go see Anonymous Crows. Also, Madsen's has got a band that I love. First off, on Thursdays, they have Mr. Chill every Thursday for karaoke. You can go do karaoke out there. I think they're doing some karaoke out there on the lanes also, which is really cool. So go do that. But on Friday night for Rockin' Bull, 8 p.m., they have Hell to Pay. We've talked about Hell to Pay. I'm going to continue to talk about Hell to Pay. They're awesome. I played around them before. These guys are great. They twist songs around. You'll have the time of your life. So I just gave you your weekend plans right there. I mean, what more do you really need, everybody? So get there for those and just get out there and support live music. Support these musicians that are working their butts off and working that gear and doing all they can. Let's keep pumping up the local scene. Lincoln is amazing. The whole area is fantastic, and I can't say enough. So get out there and support local music and enjoy yourselves. And now let's get back to our interview with another great Lincoln talent. He's from AM/FM, everybody. It's Cole Moore.
If Jade needs a band mom, Brooke would be glad to be affiliated with AM/FM radio.
He'd be great.
I would love to be her band mom. And yes, absolutely.
And before, Randy, I had a great idea.
Yep.
Back in the day, I was fortunate enough to do the Gong Show at the Rococo.
I remember.
And I was scared to death doing that because I'm not one of these solo guys that can just stage and play. I'm more the band setting player. And my friends talked me into doing it, and it was crazy. But it was so much fun, like that could go hand in hand with karaoke,
I know we've tried it. I remember that time period so well. Everybody said that. They're like, man, we should try that. And the problem with doing it for kind of like your local show is people do get upset with like
Randy,
they get gonged
Yeah.
and they think everybody thinks they're the worst and they get all mad, and you're like, oh man, that time down the Rococo, like, oh my God, people just had so much fun with it.
My friend,
It was crazy.
My friend Lars was in it, and he ended up winning it at one point. But so then they had asked him, hey, we need a judge. Somebody needs to come up here or whatever. They needed somebody for that next show we showed up to. And Lars was like, do you want to do it? I go, no, never. I would never. Nope. I'm not gonging anybody or whatever. I'm like, they're all great. I couldn't do it. I get you, Randy.
Well, the problem is some of the funnest ones are when people weren't very good and the crowd would get into it. So, it's all subjective, but those were fun days. And we did try to do something with karaoke about it, and it went wrong.
I'd be getting gonged all day.
I brought my guitar and put my name in. There was like 7 people that went in front of me, and basically they were just karaokeing. They were singing a song, and every one of them was getting gonged. And the judges were having just a great time grabbing the mallet and drumming the audience and then giving the gong. And so I am just scared to death. And I get up there and I'm doing my own silly song, and I got through. I couldn't believe it. And then Chris Lager was next to me. He was after, and I'm like, this is Chris Lager. Like, holy cow. And him and I were the only 2 that made it through at that point. So it was a fun part of my life.
Those are the kind of stories you love that kind of reflects, kind of what, Lincoln, I don't know if it really gets a bad rap, but I don't think a lot of people realize how much fun stuff and great things that we've been able to have in our city, and some great venues to go to, and really the talent for our size of a city. We have a lot of talent here in Lincoln, and it impresses me and it blows me away all the time.
Agreed. Yeah. I've got a handful of my heroes. I just bought a guitar wireless from Wayne Fritz from On the Fritz the other day. And it was so fun to catch up with him. And I remember him when I was in high school. They played a show. And
Same here.
Never forget. And I told him this, that they were playing Extremes Get the Funk Out. And I am right in front of him watching him do the solo, and he rips it note for note. And that really struck me like, I want to do this. I don't know if I can do it to that level, but having someone to emulate from those guys were amazing.
Yeah, I remember going to see those guys back in the day. They were, again, one or 2 or 3 bands that were just super popular at that time. And if you were looking to go see, someone on a Saturday night, they put on a great show.
Well, he's kind of one of those. He's kind of one of those people too that everyone has a brush with him at some point, right? Because he's just been in it for so long. So, I mean, I've had my brush around him as well, and I get kind of like starstruck too, which is crazy, right? Because like we were talking about this, one of the last shows that we had, where it used to be with the bands when you would go, it was like you didn't even talk to the band, right? There was like a mystique about them. And now all bands are like approachable. Everyone comes up to you. I can remember how people treated me. Obviously, I must have been like a circus performer to them because they felt like they could approach me at all times, and I just wanted to hide out in the background. So I can only imagine being on that level. And the same with you guys. I mean, do people tend to come up to you? Are you guys you're obviously approachable, but are people kind of afraid of you? Is there that mystique, or does everybody just kind of come up to you and want to talk to you the whole time?
No, we're one big family. They come up to us, and Jaden's autographed people's body parts even. No, it's fun. It's all, we're one big family.
Like for me, the biggest thing was when I was out to dinner with my family and somebody recognized me from the Low on Cash band at which I thought was hilarious in front of my family. And they all thought, oh my kids like, oh my gosh, right? My dad's famous. And I'm like, if you only knew the crowds that we played to. Do you ever get that? Like, do people come up to you sometimes and just say, hey man, you're the guy from AM/FM?
No, I don't really get that much. But my daughter, she told me that one time she went into the grocery store and saw somebody wearing AM/FM shirt. And that just made her smile, like, oh, that's my dad's band kind of a thing. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm wearing my work shirt. But honestly, we splurge on the shirts. Like, it's a good quality shirt that is comfortable to wear. So
I have a few friends that have some, and I do see it around town quite often, honestly.
Hey, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being the cool dad. I'm just saying. Be the cool dad just once. I had a connection to knew the guys from Bowling for Soup, and I took my teenage daughter and all of her friends up to Omaha to see them play. And then afterwards, Jared told me, he says, just wait till the show's over and then I'll take you back to the tour bus. And so all the kids got to, get signed autographs and stuff. And I think that was the only time my daughter ever thought I might be just a little cool, just a little bit.
You're cool.
I don't know if my kids ever thought, I don't know about that. I know that their friends would be like, is that your mom on the radio? They'd be like, yeah, why? Like, because of her laugh. We could tell it was her because her loud, obnoxious laugh. And I'm like, were you embarrassed when they said that? And they're like, no, we're used to it. Okay. Cool. Fair enough.
I can't imagine being your kids, Brooke. You know what I mean? Like, you're just such a fun lady to be around. Like, you honestly remind me of when I was a kid going to the bars with my parents, just like some of the most fun people that acted a fool, getting on the table, doing all these things. You have to be that person. You are that person.
I don't know if I'll get on the table. I might get up and sing some songs in karaoke and just suck at it. But, I don't know if maybe I'd get on the table if I was really into it. I don't know. Depends if I was rocking out or playing a slow song. Who knows?
Brooke was cursed with all boys.
Yep. Thank God.
For a reason.
I'm okay
for a
with
reason.
That. We don't need another Brooke. Oh, Lord.
They're great kids, man. We had your one son in my studio, and and he was shadowing me, which I thought was hilarious. Like, who the hell would want to come to my studio and watch what I do and want to do that?
He loved it. You taught him so. I mean, he literally is like, I really want to get more into that. You know what he was going to do? Go to a farm. I don't know what he was going to do. Like haul pig crap. I don't know and I go, what? You've never, he goes, well, I just know somebody that was going to do it too. And I go, how about we call Kane? And he's like, what? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we could do that. So he had to act pretty cool. He was pretty interested in though. You're a good teacher. Kane, you need to look into something about that. Start teaching people how to do podcast and maybe sit on your lap and play guitar. No, don't do that.
He should have went and shoveled crap, man. He might have made more money. You know, it's not like I'm at Joe Rogan level or anything. Not that things aren't going well, but it's like he probably should have learned to shovel crap and get paid the hard way.
Well, Cole, you know, I'm going to say this, that I've noticed lately that I've had a lot of these young people that come out to my shows and stuff, and they're so talented, but they sing those older 70s and 80s songs. And I don't know why it just amazes me. I think it's because it's hard for me to put together the influences that they might have. And I realize all the time it's because parents like you and me that played that music as they grow up, and they just learn to gravitate to it. Do you find that's kind of the case for you?
Yeah, I think it is. My kids definitely know my music. And in a way, I've kind of failed like my son because, you know, he listens to the rap a lot, and I'm not a big rap fan. Yeah, they know our songs, and we'll see it in the audience. Our music kind of does transcend from the young to the old. I mean, everybody has heard "Don't Stop Believing." You know, they're just a lot of what we do. We've picked kind of mainstream, popular '80s songs. We don't dive too deep into obscure ones. We try to hit the big ones, so that's kind of one hit after the other, and people have a good time with it.
So along with that guitar collection, do we have a big vinyl collection somewhere?
You know, I don't have a whole lot. I bought probably, 30 records as a kid, and then cassettes hit, and then I dove full into cassettes. So like my cassette collection is large, but the record collection, I got out my AC/DC.
Oh my God, I got that album.
It's the first album I bought from Treasure City.
Treasure City.
Treasure City.
I got my first album from Treasure City, which was Michael Jackson's Off the Wall.
Excellent. Yeah.
Hold up. Treasure City.
You know where the Lincoln pub, the Layton pub building is now?
Yes.
That's Treasure City.
That was Treasure City.
It used to be the biggest. It made Kmart look small.
It was wonderful. And so this one, let me break out this one.
Yeah, if you grew up in Lincoln, oh yeah, Foreigner 4. Oh my. See, that's
I bought all pennies at.
Oh yeah.
I brought my safe when I was a kid because my mom told me save your pennies and you can get what you want. So I did. And bless the lady's heart, we equal those darn pennies, and I bought Foreigner 4.
I was going into a store as a kid. Here's all my pennies. We've had a few kids come into the like when I work in restaurants, and they're paying change, and I'm like, oh boy.
Oh, Brooke, it was different back in the day. You'd be excited to go to the store with your parents, and they would just let you run free. And of course, we'd go straight over to that was back when they had like record sections, and you could thumb through albums all the time, and that was like a big deal back then for us.
Well, like the Pickles or whatever. What was the one downtown too? I remember going in there all the time and just couldn't afford anything, but I thought everything was pretty cool. I wanted to
even the basement at Sears. The basement at Sears had a whole record area. It was awesome.
Yes. Didn't Montgomery Wards do too? And then they had a little food court or something down there. I don't know. I got my first credit card there. That's all I know. Oh, records. I love them. They have them everywhere now, though. I mean, it's good that they do, but you can get them online. It's probably where most people get them, but or the like Kane or what is Kane? Don't you go to the state sales and like mean mug people? Like, get away from there.
Oh, yeah, that's where you get them now. That's the pro move because, like, can you imagine walking into a record store with pennies now? And trying to buy I mean, what do I need? Like 60,000 pennies to get one record? Yeah, no thanks.
But Kane, I think we have our first real avid cassette collector.
Yeah.
Cole, I think maybe our first avid cassette collector. And you have to add Foreigner and AC/DC to our Spotify list.
Yes. Which is never a bad thing, right? Like that.
No.
That excites me when they throw something out there, and I'm like, oh great, now I get to listen to a crap load of these bands that I love and add them to this. So, yeah, not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, that 404 album is pretty darn good.
I took that record, the AC/DC record, went over to my grandma and grandpa's to play it. Because the song that was on the radio was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. But I didn't realize that like Squealer was on there and Big Balls.
I was just going to say that.
And Father was thinking, like, what? Because he was a big, Roy Clark, Willie Nelson country, very, very, very country. So for this to be playing on his record player was probably, God bless him for letting me do it.
I had a similar experience I had a Camaro, which all the guys liked it. I couldn't see out of it, but there was a cassette player, and I had in disco music. And so my dad had to take my sister somewhere and had to use the car. And it was push, push in the bush. And my sister's like 9, push, push in the bush. And my dad's trying to turn it off. And she's like, why are you doing that? And he's like, no, you don't need to be, this is fine. We don't need to listen to this. She's like, well, is it about a bully that's getting pushed in a bush? Yep, that's what it's about. So you got to be careful when we play our records or our tapes for the first time.
Well, one of the Misery Machines only had a tape player. And so I was hitting up all those cassette places, and I was getting them for $0.25 from people, and I was bumping those tapes like it was, going out of style. I kind of miss that, honestly. Like I miss having like the huge Rolodex of CDs that I would take with me, like the massive case that weighs like 40 pounds and it has like 8,000 CDs in it. Man, dude, those were the days.
Going to the house party and you're like, look what I got, you guys. You like have a suitcase coming in. Oh, yeah.
I was over shopping the other day and they had this retro section of boom boxes with a cassette player in it. I'm like, no way. Who's getting that now, and where are they getting their cassettes? That's what I was thinking. And it was like $200. You're like, oh man, how many are they really selling of these?
You know what though? I think there's a lot of us that have a ton of cassettes. It's just that like our thing break, like the CD player breaks or the DVD player or whatever. We gotta find them somewhere because I want to listen to that the tape that my ex-boyfriend made for me. No, I don't. I think I still have a few.
Mine never lasted that long. I'd play them for like 3 or 4 weeks nonstop, and they'd break. Oh, I had to wind them a lot. It just eventually they just snap.
How many mixtapes did guys give you, Brooke? That's what I want to know. How many did you have?
No, I don't. I probably made them myself. Who knows? This one's from Andy. And my friends were like, yeah, whatever. No, it's not. It's like, everything I do it for you. And then I call the radio station. Hey, AJ, could you play this for John? And then they do it. Yeah, those times were good too, where you could call in and ask to have a song played for your boyfriend, even though it's not your boyfriend. So then you get called out, and it's really embarrassing.
Well, even just buying vinyl or cassettes back in the day, it was like an adventure going to these stores looking for a certain one that like I needed to finish my Kiss collection, like looking for the Elder or Van Halen album that I've been missing.
Cole, if you want, I have a spare Elder album in plastic that's never been played.
You do?
I have them all.
Yeah. He just wants you to sign it.
We had Richard Brett on not long ago, and he's telling this story about the older kids dressing up at Kiss and going to the skating rink. And I go, yeah, I was one of those guys.
Yeah.
So I sent him a picture. We had made up our costumes, and I created an Ace Frehley costume to the Destroyer album, and I sent it to Richard. He's like, "Oh my God, that was you guys!" I find this, like I said, doing this podcast. Everything in life comes back around to haunt you.
True.
Just like Kane's new song, "Haunt You." Is that what it's about?
Yeah, it could be.
That's it in a nutshell. I mean, that's it's Randy in that Ace Frehley costume haunting us for the rest of our lives.
Truth be told, I have a legit Ace Frehley costume and his guitar.
Yes.
I went as Ace Frehley one year at Vega with AM/FM, And my wife wasn't really super happy with it because the spandex pants kind of accentuated things. And so I've only worn it once, and that's it.
Your guitar could cover it up, right? So when you set it down. Yeah. I had a few friends that did, and they're like, no, it's fine. I go, well, what happens when you're on, like, done playing? Then what? Well, I don't know. Like, lots of sweat.
Well, Cole, I had the same aspirations as you. I just never could play the guitar very well. But I wanted to play the part. And oh man, back in the day, Ace Frehley, man, I loved it.
Yeah, I've seen him several times, you know, with the solo career stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's aging. We're all aging, you know. But yeah, he's one of my guitar heroes, Ace Frehley and Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, two of the best in my book.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, I know we brought up Richard. We just interviewed him, and you're really good friends with him, right? You guys are like besties.
Yeah, I call him my best friend.
Yes, and you two, I could see you two being best friends, and you guys are very kind people. And I know that he's having a fundraiser, and you are probably going to be there. I'm assuming, yeah.
Absolutely, I would never. Yep.
Well, we've been trying to get everybody to know, like, you know, to get out there to go to this beautiful cause. And hey, you guys can meet Cole if you come as well. That'll be cool.
I'm nobody's social, Brooke.
Okay.
It'll be a fun, great time.
It will be. And thank you for being a part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah, it's great that the community is really getting behind this and helping support Richard in this time.
Well, and he didn't want anything and nothing to do with this because he's humble, you know, and like we've all told him, was like, you've done so many things for other people and you need it now. So now's your turn. It's okay, you know.
And
so
we're grateful for people like you to tell him that, because he's a kind person, and he has some great friends, some amazing friends. And I'm sure you've all played in bands together, and well, you have, but I mean, like all of his and yours, and you guys are a band community. And I love that too. And you guys, even if you haven't really met or hung out with somebody, you're still friends with them somehow on Facebook, or you went to one of their shows, or it's your best friend's, you know, sister's drummer, you know. And I mean, it just, you guys are all related somehow. But I love that about you guys. And I'm sure you get a Facebook request from people every once in a while, like, you know, oh, hey, you're a drummer, you're a guitar player, a singer. And you meet new people that way. And then you can get Fritz's guitar.
Absolutely. Yeah. About our area is like, even though like all of us don't hang out, we'll friend request each other and become friends and then get to know each other that way. But we're like one big musical local family, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, that's how I feel like Scratch the Vinyl is. I mean, we try to bring everybody together. Doesn't matter what genre. You know, we even have people that aren't necessarily musicians, but producers, or, you know, just they're in Broadway, or they do something along the lines of artwork and in that sense. And that's why I love Scratch the Vinyl, because we all come together. We get to hear each other's stories instead of just, you know, it's fun to watch you play and do all of that, but to actually get to know the person. Because like you said, sometimes you feel like you know the person just by watching them so much, but to really hear them and see and listen to where they came from, it means a lot to us. So thank you again for sharing your story.
Well, let's give that benefit a proper plug. Let's really make this thing huge. I believe it's Thursday, December 12th at Tank South, and they've got Hell to Pay playing, and there's going to be a who's who of musicians throughout town there to support Richard, because Richard's loved by everybody. And I personally have, just what you said, I've become friends with Richard, talking to him after befriending him on Facebook. And the same with you. Like, I'm really enjoying my time, Cole, talking to you about music and our love for things. And man, maybe something will be in the works sometime. Maybe we'll get in on a track together. That'd be really awesome.
It's going to happen. That's going to have to happen.
Also give a shout out that Hell to Pay is going to be at Matson's this Friday night. So if you guys are checking out this episode, check out Hell to Pay this Friday night down at Matson's. And man, Cole, you know, I know we're probably getting to that time where we have to start wrapping things up, but I just want to emphasize again that how much I know it. People do get and understand that bands like yours that do so well, that you really do give us what we want and what we need. Like it's just, it seems so small sometimes, but music is what soothes our soul. And I really appreciate myself that you guys are keeping that 80s theme alive and well, and you're still going strong. So appreciate you guys, and thanks for coming on the show today.
No, thank you. And like I said, I love your guys' show. I love your karaoke stuff, Randy. Miss your restaurant.
Yeah, everybody misses Burger Tuesday. That's what they always tell me.
You're an icon. Fun.
Well, I've always felt very fortunate, and I try to stay pretty humble that I've been a part of a lot of different entertainment stuff here in Lincoln. And as someone who doesn't sing very well, who can't play the guitar, who's not funny, even though I try to be, I'm always impressed with the people that are the talented people and really go out there and give it their all. And it never goes unappreciated on my side. I appreciate everybody that's supported me over these many years here in Lincoln. And if nothing else, Scratch the Vinyl is our way of giving back to all you guys that are out there, grinding every week at the shows to make a couple $100. And even though we know a lot of you, deserve a lot more than that. So,
well, thank you, Randy.
Well, we've done it, everybody. We've brought you another amazing guest, and we're doing it every week. And by God, we're doing it here on
Scratch the Vinyl.